Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of brothers trying to figure it all out. With your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, Segways and staff meetings. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
Ahoy! I am flipping knobs, putting out fires. Hold on, what is this? I can't hear myself. Balance, monitor balance. Something is very off.
It is a problem. Hearing yourself is useful.
Although right now with my head congestion, I don't know if I want to hear myself at all.
True, yours doesn't seem to have gotten any better, actually.
No. Matter of fact, it has in fact gotten worse because now I have sinus pressure galore today.
Oh.
And I went to put Vicks on my face, and I tried to smell through my nose, and I was like, I can't smell the Vicks at all.
Well, that's not good. It means you're really blocked.
Real blocked. So been doing.
Got to put it on your feet. Now you're gonna.
Yeah,
it's the thing. Apparently,
yeah, it is. So yeah, real blocked, but we are surviving. I don't know if thriving yet, but it is. Things are happening. Things are happening.
I smashed mine with Vicks and cough syrup. That seems to have at least tempered the problem. Right,
yes.
We're much better than we were the other day.
Oh,
right.
Good. Mine has been slow, like very, very slow progressing. I've been on.
Oh, mine was real fast. Like the day after, like Saturday after I got home, from seeing you last time, I just lay on the couch all day, like, I blew my nose every 5 seconds. Like it slammed me hardcore.
Oh no!
And then, and here's my fun. Okay, here's the official. You can tell I just had a birthday because I'm old man now.
Yeah.
Right. So some sort of combination of hoisting antenna and children hanging on my arm. Right. I have strained my left pectoral or shoulder, something in there. So when I cough, it hurt like real bad.
Oh no. No. Sorry.
I was like right in there. It's where it's like I would cough. I would go, oh. That is the official. I am a super old man now. Like, yeah, that's better too now. Like that was like, but that one on Saturday, it was like, no, I am broken.
Oh, that's that's bad. Oh,
yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great times. So that was.
Well, I feel like my cough is getting a little bit better. It's not as deep as it was before.
Oh, that's good.
So that's good. It's just this new head thing that I've got going. I'm not enjoying this because I went down. I was feeling kind of woozy, not woozy, but like, I don't feel all that great. And then I had to bend down to tie my shoes, and I was like, that hurts my head. That's not good. That is I don't enjoy that at all. So I've been recovering.
Hashtag not sponsored, but that Mucinex cough syrup is pretty good stuff, right? That's what I do.
So I've been so that's what
not sponsored, okay? But sponsored. Like,
I think I need to change because I've been taking the Sudafed stuff. And that is it Sudafed? Is that what I've been taking?
I don't know.
Sudafed? No. What's the other one? Not Mucinex.
Robitussin.
That's
the classic one.
Yeah, I've been taking Robitussin. I know, like it feels like it's making me like just like I'm okay, but like I don't feel like it's been getting me better. So I need to. Because I was taking Mucinex tablets, but those didn't do a whole lot.
No, the tablets I don't normally do a lot for me, right? For some reason, just the cough syrup stuff just helps me a lot. I don't know why. I even took some like the other day we went to because we went to Thanksgiving, right? And so I did something, and I tried to take some like just normal Sudafed during the day. Didn't. It was so bad it didn't even touch it. Like I was like, oh well, dang, that's not good. So
No,
that's time wasted where I could have been taking more cough syrup.
Right. Yeah. Now I have to wait.
Yeah. But I guess more, I don't know, if different allergy or something. Because last time in the spring when I had allergies, I took the Sudafed and it actually helped a lot.
Yeah.
But whatever this is not the same. And it didn't do anything. So I took some Mucinex. I still had a little bit of Mucinex PM from the other day. So that, boom. Nappy McNapperson.
Yeah.
It just helped me sleep. And I slept like, again, that Saturday night when I came home, I slept all like many hours. It was like, yes. A combination of not being in a tiny bed at my dad's house, but like, that helps. But
turns out, yeah. No, I tried to. I've been doing some experiments because I took the Robitussin PM nighttime stuff one day, and I woke up feeling really bad the next day. And I was like, and I went, is it my sickness or is it the nighttime medicine? So I didn't take it the following night. Now it's hard because
that's true.
I didn't take it. I coughed all night long, and I was like up. I even took like the normal Robitussin, not nighttime stuff, and I was still up tossing and turning. But I didn't feel as like hazy the next morning. So I was like, well. So then I took it the following night, and I woke up feeling hazy and like I couldn't shake something. I was like just feeling like very like in a fog, and I was like, okay, it is the nighttime stuff. And so now I'm like, well, and it may be because I go to bed at like 11, and I then wake up at 5:30 or 6. So that's probably not helpful at all.
That's true. See, what I have to do, right? Here's my strat, right? I don't usually go to bed till like 11 or whatever either, but I take the PM cough syrup at like 10. Right? Okay. You got to kind of give it a head start.
Yes.
A little bit, right? I guess I probably could because it doesn't bother me too much, right? Usually, but like I don't like to take it like right when I go to bed. Right? I like to give it some time to start kicking in a little bit before I go to sleep. Right? So you may try that. You gotta back up the start time just a little bit. Hit it a little earlier.
Yeah. Well, it's like whenever you take like any sort of sleep aid or whatever, it's like, take this, 20 to 30 minutes before you intend to fall asleep.
Yeah, I usually do it. I take my shot at like 10 to 10:30 maybe. And then, but again, I don't usually have the groggy morning problem.
Oh, no.
Well, again, like sometimes I do, but it's like, I can't tell because you're like not feeling good. And I don't have the wherewithal to perform experiments such as these because I don't want to stay up all night. So like, it is hard, right? Because you run into this bias of like, you can't repeat the same circumstances again, right? Yeah. This is that weird paradox, right? Where you're like, well, I can't then rewind time and do it differently because that's the only true way that you would be able to tell a difference, right? Yeah. Like if you could repeat exactly the same thing again, which you can't do. So.
Right, because my sickness is either advanced a day or like gotten better by a day. Plus my day, like I was either a lot busier or not a lot busier. Yeah, there's a lot
of variables in there,
Yeah.
So that is a problem with this particular process, but it's a problem with anecdotal evidence.
No, it's totally fine. There's not an issue with it at all.
There is an issue with it, right? Which leads me into my next segue. Monday, I had this staff meeting.
Oh no! Okay, I love I love these kind of segues.
Yeah, and no, I was just thinking about this like the whole time, right? I was sitting in the staff meeting, right? Because I was sitting there learning about phonics instruction as a science teacher, and I was like,
oh no.
Cool. Anyway, I didn't have to do a bunch of other stuff the rest of the day, so I did get a ton of work done, right? Okay. I made another section of the game thing I play in my room. I recorded 5 chapters of the book for my special education kids. Right, boom.
Wow!
I was ripping through it. It was a little bit hard because I was kind of not able to breathe, and so I was trying not to like cough into the microphone as I was reading. So I was there was a couple that were really long, and I had to be like, I was a little out of breath because I was trying not to like sniffle and stuff into the,
yeah.
It's fine. But anyway, sorry, I was sitting there, right, and I realized something about sometimes education things, right, and I don't know if this is all or just the ones that I have had the pleasure of sitting through, right? But like I was sitting there listening to these, and it was like a lot of different people, right? It wasn't just like one person, right? Because if it was one person, this would make you'd be like, oh, this, it makes more sense. But like it was like three different people, right? And there's a lot of logical fallacies that get thrown out in your education meetings sometimes.
Surely not.
Right? And I know, and it's, and I was thinking about this, and I was like, man, a lot of these conversations arise from the anecdotal evidence fallacy, right? It's all like, it's everybody saying like, well, when I did this, blah blah blah, and then that is the only thing that's presented anywhere. And I'm going like, okay, so are these things that you're telling me, are these actually best practices? Or are we like, have we fallen into this logical fallacy hole so hard that anecdotal evidence is fine? Right. And then I spent the whole rest of the meeting thinking about this, and I didn't listen, but like, right. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, we're talking about phonics, right? Talking about phonics, right? You remember Hooked on Phonics?
Oh yes.
Right? Remember this? Okay. So I am a little bit fuzzy on the details, right? But like there was a big push in the 90s, like phonics, Hooked on Phonics, blah. There was the commercials, blah, blah. My friend had one of the joke shirts, said like, my Hooked on Phonics work for me, but all the words are spelled wrong, right?
Yeah.
Because you just sign them out. And so I seem to remember there's some sort of thing, like people drifted away from phonics, just phonics, because it's like not quite good enough for like the only thing to do for language instruction, right?
Sure.
Which makes sense because spoilers, doing just one thing, never really the answer. But like, then we go to this other thing, and there's like whole language learning, and there's all this other stuff. And then now our big issue back in our school again is phonics for the young children, right?
Yeah.
Phonics again. And so I was sitting in this meeting thinking, like, there's this big meme, right? Like education is all about it's all moves in cycles, bro. Like, this is the joke. Everyone's in on the joke. Like, you do this one thing, and then like in 5 years you do this other thing, and then in like a couple more years you're back to doing the thing that you did before. Is this because educational policies are driven largely by anecdotal evidence fallacies?
Ooh.
And not by actual research at all? Because they even showed me a video, right? And I was watching this video, and it's this lady, right? She's talking about her kid learning. And in the video, she's mentioning things like, this isn't how we did it when I was in school, blah, blah, blah. And then she set up like this experiment, right? This lady is allegedly a sociologist. There was nothing in the video to prove that was true. But, this could have been a Facebook science video for all I know. And like she set up this experiment, and I'm watching the experiment, right? And I'm going, this is not a good experiment. This is like scientifically, this is bad, right? We have some holes here. We have like not isolating variables. Okay, we're doing some weird things. I don't know how I feel about this, but it was all driven by this idea of like, oh well, we didn't do this, and I did this, and I was successful, right? Like this is not a fact, right? This is only anecdotal evidence. And so now I'm distressed because I think my conspiracy theory is that all educational policies are only driven by anecdotal evidence based logical fallacies. And I'm upset now because this is what happens, right? Every time administrators or teachers stand up, right, they're talking about this, and they always talk about when I did this, I found success. Like that doesn't mean anything really, right? We have, like we're talking about with your medicine experiment, right? There's a lot of variables at play here, right? We have infinite variables because like no two kids are even the same. So you can't be like, oh boy, I did this with one kid 5 years ago and it was perfect. Like that doesn't help me, right? Doesn't help me drive policy saying like if I did this one time and it was successful, it does not mean it will work all times, right? In all situations, in all circumstances, in all across all things. And I was distressed the whole rest.
Oh, but it's true, and that's because, and I know that there are a lot of educational researchers that try and formalize those kind of things, and that's why they have even those experimental schools to implement, but so they can get like 4 or 5 cohorts through, right, where they can actually see what's happening. But there's so few of those, right? And especially if you have, there's a board meeting or there's the days, with where you were at, right, where people are sharing, they're sharing what their experiences, and this ends up going, okay, well, this is a lot of people then goes to, oh, well, this is the teacher who's the most experienced, or they've been here the most years, or they've had the most challenging whatever. Well, we'll defer to them because of their experience, which is not in and of itself a bad thing, but then it leads to them being viewed as the be all end all. And it's like, well, I don't want, you can't, and it's hard because it's like, well, I can't dispute that it worked for you. Obviously it did. Something did. We're going to assume and attribute it that it was to these things. And this, oh my gosh, this is why the kind of experiments that I was doing for my degree was like, we're going to measure everything. We're just going to measure it. Why are we going to measure it? Well, because we don't know. We actually don't know what is going to influence this. And so statistically, though, we have ways of testing everything all at the same time together to see what's driving the effect that we see. And so, I'd be like, well, I'm pretty sure it's salinity, but I still have to measure, I would measure
all the other things to make sure, right?
Ridiculous things like cloud cover and wind direction. Yeah. I was like, wind direction? I'm dealing with a fish. And they're like, wind direction, sir. You're going to measure wind direction. Fine. And so that way you can say, look, all of these other stochastic and random variables that are out there in the world, none of them had an impact. And you don't get that from those one-off, because they're case studies. They're not actual facts. It's a case study, and that's very different kind of evidence.
But oftentimes, especially in education, case studies are represented as evidence. Right? Possibly because somebody didn't know they didn't pay attention to science class and they did not do their experiment properly. Right? Like, oh yeah, no.
Crazy.
Right.
Oh,
but then we get like, you just get all, see what we've just talked about here are like 9 fallacies from this list that I'm looking at right here, right? We have the old appeal to authority, right? We have the old bandwagon, right? Because if it worked for several people, it must be good, right? Hasty generalizations and, and then of course what you just mentioned, the correlation causation one.
Everyone's personal favorite.
Everyone's favorite, right? A lot of these just show up and people just like blast through them and they take that as their fact. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is upsetting because like, I understand what you're trying to do, right? Like, I think some of it is not intentional, right?
No.
We're not spreading these things intentionally because as you want to like connect with your fellow educators, right? That's what they're trying to do, right? We're trying to like draw and like say like I'm like you, right? I've been there. I know what it's like. We're trying to make a personal connection on a personal level, but we're actually doing is providing anecdotal evidence only and not like actual things, right? Because in you know in education anyway, right? Like we have this big problem because we have like they like to tout, the data, right? And they like to tout all of these things, right? But like a lot of them aren't like really collected well, or like the data is just like skewed to make it fit your presupposition about what's happening, right? Like, and there's a lot of these things don't correlate anyway, because if you look at things like map test data, right? You look at one group of third graders. Yeah, I'm just picking third grade because that's the first year that takes a map test. You look at one, you take your year, you're like 20, I don't know, 2019 third graders. Boom. And you compare that to the 2022 third graders, which are not the same children.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't have the same teacher. They possibly have been teaching a different curriculum in different circumstances and all kinds of things. Like the infinite number of variables with just like one class of third graders from year to year makes your data kind of not super great,
Right.
Like, there's a lot of presupposition saying like every single person when they start the beginning of third grade will have had the exact same education up to that point, which is false, right? This is not a presupposition that you can stand on, right? And so if that is your presupposition, all of the conclusions that you draw after that are not valid, because because you started from a place of falsehood, right? Right? And you can look at the third graders tests and then compare it to the fourth graders tests the next year, because those are the same kids, right? And if you can say like, oh, well, last year this kid was here and this year this kid is here, that's marginally better because it's the same kid, but it's not the same test. So like, it's a completely different test. So the scores are also kind of not relevant, right? It's like looking at your math test and then also your spelling test and being like, oh, this kid showed growth. Like, those are two different things. What are you talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, when they actually do these kind of studies in the real world, because they do these kind of like repeated tests in a time-based events over time, and there's some over in England that have been going on for like 50 years, where it's the same people, same, but it's the exact same test or whatever. But in between, they're like, again, measuring everything. What is it? What are these people eating? What are they doing in their free time? How much TV are they watching? What are their grades in the other classes throughout the things? What are their extracurricular activities? What's their home life like? All of these other factors go into play to try and like get some semblance of how is this one student progressing, as opposed to just random set of questions once a year. Cool. Yeah. That's what we'll use to determine if the student is on the right track or not.
Yeah. Not helpful.
So, no. Well, yeah. And it's interesting how you are talking about this, and I'm rolling my eyes because with the way you're presenting this of like, oh, there's somebody up there and they're like, well, I did this one thing this one time. Let me tell you about two people, like about dog trainers and business coaches.
Oh boy. I feel like this is the same. I'm going to pull my list of fallacies back up. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's logical fallacies brought
yes,
sociology.
We're going to find logical fallacies, because that like dog trainers are notorious for this, right? Of like, I did these 4 things and my dog did this, and now this is my curriculum that I do, right? And this is and it's just a case study, and it's the same. And so then they take this out and they apply it to everybody, and it's what they start preaching from the rafters. And that's the really bad, really lazy dog trainers that do that kind of thing of like, man,
yeah,
this one thing will work for you because it worked for me and it worked for these other people. And it's like, well, did it, or are you cherry picking here? Because like, tell me about the other students that it didn't work on.
Oh yeah, I think we're cherry picking too, because like you're telling me these anecdotal evidence that backs up your thing, right? Of these other 5 people were successful. Never mind that I taught this to 500 people. That's
yes. Oh my! Exactly. Anytime you read a business book from a business coach, all they want to do is talk about their success stories. And obviously, right? Okay, fine. You were successful. Let's talk about it. But don't prop that up to be like, so therefore this will work for you. And that's actually language that people use all the time. If this worked for me, it'll work for you. And I'm like, no. Like that's not actually helpful at all. And I think it's it's people what they fall into, and because I see this of people who okay, so this is the trajectory I see with a lot of people, and it's very interesting. It's like the corollaries over here to the teaching world. Somebody starts a business, they reach a modicum of success, and then they go, oh, I'm going to start teaching other people how to do what I did, because what I did made me successful. And so they turn around and
these are the people. TikTok bros, right? This is those dudes on the internets that are like, yo, bro, I bought this house one time. Like, I shut up.
Yeah. This is exactly that, where they go. And this is the formulaic people of, well, these are the 7 things that I did and I'm successful. So if you do these 7 things, you too will be successful. And ladies and gentlemen, that is not how any of this works. Okay. That is not that you cannot do that. You cannot, because like, okay, well, if you go and ask Jeff Bezos about why Amazon was so widely successful, you can't do that now. You can't do his steps now because Amazon exists, people.
Yeah, because he already did them and cornered the market on it.
Already been done. Like that's what people tend to forget of like no, the times and because also like, okay, well, you did this 30 years ago. Don't like, I can't follow those steps because the world is not the same that we're interacting with right now.
Oh yeah.
Right. And like that's what really gets me frustrated is when people go, well, and this is through all the courses of life of, well, if only you would do XYZ and you would be successful, or this, you'd get what you want. I'm like, well, yeah, but you did that in the 90s, right? Like this is 30 years. Shh.
Yeah,
30 years later. Okay, this is many years later. and
innumerable number of years later.
There's no way we can find out. It's a time.
Yeah.
There has been time has passed, and the number of factors that go into that kind of thing, you literally cannot measure them all. But people go, oh wow, great. You have 5 things for me to do. You have 11 things for me to do. That's what I'll do because I don't want to figure it out on my own, or like I'm struggling and I need the help. And they fall into that line because here's somebody who's boldly proclaiming that they have the answer.
And if you pay $29.99, you too can have.
Yeah. So with all that said, the O Brother consulting firm is rolling out, and we are really excited
there you go.
to talk about.
Here's what it is: you just tell us what you're going to do, and we'll just be like yes or no. That's our consulting. We'll say no, don't do that. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Or yeah, sounds good. Go for it.
Cool.
We're very black and white here, right? That's where we got it.
Just yes or no. $1,700.
Yeah. I mean, $17 is good, right?
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But that. Let me just write that over here. I'll make that web page to later.
Yeah, got it.
Set up a PayPal. Okay, yeah, good. We're done.
And be like, yep, sounds good, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. Or this is a bad plan. You should rethink your life. That's the start of our form letter.
That's pretty much. That's pretty much the kind of stuff that I need to put together a lot of times. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Interesting choice. Yeah. Well, but I think that's different between I don't know. I think that's a difference between a consultant and a coach, right?
That's
a coach
true.
is right. A consultant is there to actually answer questions, and a coach is, well, a lot of times it's just there to tell you what to do. And consultants, you go for questions and they're going to help you figure them out and put together a plan versus a coach. So that's why I like the consulting world. So we're going to figure it out together.
Okay. I'll be the coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go team. Plan.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can recover from that and not get too caught up on that the next time.
Oh yeah. I'm real worried about next time too. Right. Oh no. Now that this is in my head. Right.
That's all you're going to hear.
Oh, I know. That's all I'm going to hear the whole time. It's like, oh no. Oh no. Why? Right. It just jumps out. So here's the real takeaway, listeners. Okay, here's your free coaching advice. Right. If you are listening to somebody and they're telling you what to do, and in the course of their little deposition, they're just using first person pronouns. Right. Take everything they're saying and just with some grains of salt and know that this is not actually factual.
Nope.
Right. Right. When you hear those magic words, I, me, my, we, nope. No.
It's all probably mostly fine, really.
Yeah. I mean, some of it is fine, but also some of it is bunk. And just take it with a grain of salt and know that it's not actual factual evidence.
Exactly.
There we go. There's the free advice corner. This has been Brandon's coaching corner. You're welcome. We got that.
Well, we got out of our comfort zone this past weekend. Did I didn't send you these photos. I need to send the family these. So I went to a business mixer a month or two ago, and I got these.
You go all the time, and you're always disappointed, and then you still go again. And I'm like, what?
Well,
why?
I went this one time, and I actually won some free tickets to something called Fritz's Adventure.
In Branson.
Yes. Have you been to this?
No, my one of my friends has gone with their family. She took their family down there.
So are you aware of Fritz's Adventure?
I'm moderately aware. I don't have like a full understanding, but I know kind of what it is.
Well, I had these free tickets, and we knew nothing about this, and we were trying to figure out what we're going to do this past weekend. And Megan was like, "Hey, we've got these free tickets. Let's use them." And I was like, "Sweet." So we kind of just started driving with no other research beyond that.
And Googling the address. That's a
no. Well, yeah, we Googled the address, and we just drove off. We also we also found out that the tickets that I had won very kindly were the highest tiered tickets.
Dang. Okay.
But I only had two of them.
Oh no.
So that meant that I had to buy two other of the also highest tier so that we could all do stuff together. That was a little bit of a but it's fine. Okay, it's fine. Because we got to do it together. So anyway, we show up.
Yeah, at least you didn't have to buy 4 of the highest tier tickets.
Oh my gosh. Quick side note. If you look up this place, they have so many tiers beyond what even we just got the tickets. We didn't even get the bougie reserved seating sections stuff going on. Where
what else is in here? I'm going to their website right now.
Well, so here's the thing. You can get pit seating, you can get the elite experience or the premier experience. It's insane, and it's comfortable seating for 7, like pizza, sweet treats, unlimited drinks, other amenities. You get basically whatever you want with these tickets, but it's like $125 a person.
Good night. What is that?
Yep.
These are nuts.
The premier experience is $120 per person. The premier. It also gets you, and I'm like,
and I don't know. So this marketing, right, on their website, listeners, it's just like a lady excitedly holding a pretzel. I don't really know if that really conveys enough excitement for $120.
It is a giant
pretzel. And
then
a dad like nonchalantly having some pizza. It doesn't even look like really great pizza, right? It looks like
it's cafeteria food, like if we're being honest. But I will say
this pretzel is the size of a steering wheel.
It is,
but
it's called the family pretzel.
Oh my gosh, what?
It is called the family pretzel. It is cafeteria food, but remember, they're targeting families. And so if you don't have to leave and you could just go sit at a table, get food, like, so anyway, because we didn't get the premiere or elite experience. We just bought we just had the normal like tickets, but that meant that we could do everything here. And we showed up right when they opened, and we went to this thing called the Sky Trail.
Oh, that sounds like something that you would love because you love ice so much.
Yes. Everybody was very excited about this, and I had my apprehensions. What this is, it's a 4-story like maze, geometric maze thing. And what you do is you get into your harness of this climbing harness, and then they attach a tether that goes from your harness up to a track above your head. And as you walk, the tether slides along this track so that you are always connected to this beam above your head.
This thing is enormous. I'm looking at it right now. Good gravy.
4 stories tall.
Also, is this just a brick building, or do you just get to be Spider-Man? Is that what's happening?
There is a brick wall, yes, that you can climb. That's an outside. That's called the city wall. And we just we went to the Sky Trail for the right away because we were like, oh, this is going to be really busy later on. So we just jumped on. You climb up your stairs, either 3 stories, 3 flights or 4 flights, depending on how you're going. And Megan just booked it to the 3rd flight. You turn, and then it's nothing but tight ropes and rickety bridges and step stones that you have to go through, and you're 3 stories up.
Good night.
It is intense. And we just started going. And of course, I have to stand on a chair to get the furnace filter out of our ceiling, because that's where it is.
Oh yeah.
This makes me nervous. This makes me nervous. Okay. I cling to the door frame, and here I am, I want to be here and have this experience with my kids, and my wife is already on the other side getting attached to a zip line, so I guess I have to go do this. And so I'm
not looking back, is she?
No, she was just boom. And the kids, Lily and Noah were like, yeah, whatever. And they're going, there was a few tense moments where we had to climb. There was netting strung out, and you have to go from left to right on it. And so and you're doing this net. So it's arm work and leg work, putting your arms in the holes. And again, if you look down, you are 3 stories above the ground, and doing that was a little scary. And they straight up just had ones that were just a tightrope and nothing else. A lot of them. And so the way you get across that is you either, actually tightrope walk, or if you cheat like me and you grab your tether, right? And you kind of lean into your tether, and that creates enough resistance that you can do most of these.
Yeah.
And you're going to be fine. But it's still terrifying. And I was genuinely a few times where I was like, I don't know if I could keep doing this. This is very scary. And then you just walk around a corner, and then they put you on a zip line, and they send you across. And they actually have a zip line course that goes around the entire building that is actually separate from the Sky Trail. It takes an hour and a half to do.
What?
And it is, yes, it is intense. You have to wear gloves. You have a helmet. They have a training class. You have to hook and unhook yourself from the cables that are strung over all the place. We did not do that because that would be too much. Like, it was a bit too complicated, because you have, when you go to, like, you have your little D ring and you have to like take that off when you're up for. So real quick, Skytrail, we did the 3rd level, did the zip line, and then we did go up to the 4th level. We did one track and then we came down because I was like, we're all getting a little tired. We need to go eat. And also, like, I don't know how much more I can do this. So I did go to the 4th story and I did do a thing and then we came back. But like the other trail, the other zip line thing, like when you get to a zip line, you have an actual zip line unit or whatever that you have to physically you attach to the zip line, and then you swing off and go.
Oh dang. All right.
It's a lot. So we did not do that, but we did the Sky Trail, and this is so cool. And we just like showed up and we're just like, yep, here we go. Here's what we're doing. Blah, blah, blah. They have a full 1958 dual prop plane suspended from the ceiling. And what's really cool is that in order to get to it, you have to like climb through this grain silo maze to get up to the top spiral. And then there's netting suspended 4 stories from the ceiling that goes in a big arch over down to the cockpit of this plane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then one of the neatest things was down in the basement, there's this cement mixer drum half sunken down in the cement, and there's a hole cut into the side. If you climb through that hole, it's actually the entrance to underground tunnels.
Whoa.
Yes. Now,
holy cow.
I'm a bit of a bigger guy, so this was a little difficult for me. Plus, I have an upper respiratory kind of bronchial constricting thing going on, so it was a bit hard for me to breathe. But this was so cool because you like climb down through, like, and they had the internal spirals still there for the cement mixer, and then just like plopped out, and and we were going through tunnels like arms in front of you, like wiggling side to side. Yeah, like tight things. And every now and then you would look up and there's a floor grate, so you can see people up walking around like beyond, like above you. They had a cool a tree house, but it was the rope tree house, kind of like, I mean, you remember Silver Dollar City's tree house?
Oh yeah.
Like those big, thick, like ship ropes.
Yeah.
They had 3 huge towers made out of that were all connected together up at the very top. That was fascinating. They also had these shipping containers stacked on top of one another. That was another like obstacle course and like maze to get through, with more underground tunnels that were like huge that you were kind of crawling through.
Dang, man.
Yeah, no, like we spent.
I didn't know it had that much stuff in it. I heard about the zip lining thing and like the rope course deal, right? And I did not know anything else about.
Yeah, no, we spent 3 hours
like
there.
Urban Explorer Light, right? Like this is training you to be those dudes on YouTube that just like to have GoPros on their head or exploring abandoned buildings, right? That's what this is happening.
Exactly. This is exactly what they are prepping you for, because then, yeah. So, at the end, they we chose to save this for the end. There's a cityscape. It just looks like a brick wall. It's like it got a garage door, windows that look like they're busted and whatever. And like every now and then there are bricks that are poking out, and you just climb that, right? And that's 3 stories up. And then next to that, they have full size, like massive telephone poles that you can climb. And
do they have the little metal bars in them? Is that how you climb it, or do you like? You know what I'm talking about? Like the actual telephone poles have the little T-bar things on them. Do they have that on there? Or
yes, they do. Yeah,
okay.
You didn't have to put the spikes in and like do the hook.
I mean, that's probably good. Yeah. I don't know if there's a lot of training, but I don't know about the climbing spikes. I don't think that's probably a good idea.
Right. No, what they did was they had these full-size telephone poles, and at the very top they had the little T-bars that come across, and they had huge transformers.
Yeah.
And they had 2 different poles. One, they had the metal posts on the sides sticking out that you see.
Yeah.
And then another one, they had the little handhold bars coming out right in front. So that was a bit easier for the younger kids to climb.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like the little hand and footholds that are just right in front of you, as opposed to off the sides, because these are big telephone poles.
Yeah.
And my goodness, Lily and Noah just like scampered up.
I bet they both were like at the top. Like, what?
They did. No, they did. It was nothing. They both got to the very top. They're hanging up there. They rang a little bell. And then they just take a few moments. They turn, they look down, right? And they're like, huh, cool. And then they just start climbing down. And I'm like, gosh. So like, and they have, they use auto belays for all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just climbing, and they've got the instructors down, and they're watching, and they're directing you kind of where you can climb, where you can't, and things like that. But man, it was so much fun. Like, there's so much stuff to just like, oh, I'm going to go climb. It was like one of those, like, I'm going to go climb that wall, or like, yeah, let me go do that thing. Like, you never, like, where else can you go to these things and, not get yelled at or die? Like, that's very important here. But yeah, then I'm interested in doing the big course. Like, I really am. Because it also has like outside segments too. Like, they had, like, it goes outside for a little while.
That's what I was reading on the thing there.
Yeah.
It's like big, like, how big is this? Like, what is this?
This thing is huge. It's a huge building. And everything's just kind of like, you cross levels. There's all sorts of different things going everywhere. So it's I still am terrified. But I secretly think that this is what we all need to go do as a family the next time we're together.
Oh dear.
Because yeah, that's my plan.
All right. Well, don't tell Dad. He'll just go out in the woods and start stringing ropes up.
I know. This is my concern as well. But yeah, because we got home and he was up on a ladder dealing with his tower, and of course the kids were like, "Hey, can we climb that?" And I was like, "No, that's not what we're doing, people."
Yeah, no, hold on, wait, no, stop. Now they're just gonna climb everything. Like, oh, I'm just gonna climb this thing. Bam, done.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was just like there was hardly a surface there that you weren't allowed to climb on or like do something with. And they had stuff for all ages too, which was also nice. Of like, it wasn't just big, huge, extreme stuff. Yeah,
so
you could do
smaller ones, even though. Yeah, you like your kids were like up at the top of the big, huge, extreme stuff.
No, they were
like,
and
60 feet in the air. What's up, Dad? Hey, like,
Yep. I mean, and here's the thing: like the treetops zip line. That's the huge course that takes like an hour and a half to do. Like, it's you're going to zip line a total of 17 times.
Good night.
You're going to walk across 8 suspension bridges, and you're going to have to do 2 free falls where you disconnect from the course, connect to an auto belay, and just jump off.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But like, we technically could have done it with the kids because they're both 48 inches tall. And like, that's the minimum requirement.
Oh, so, good grief.
Yes, I know.
It's not very tall.
No. So that's, but I'm like, but the whole like attach, unattach stuff, like that's a little complicated. And I'm a bit manic, so I don't think I'd be able to handle this myself.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, that's where we just, we're all just going to go do it, and we'll get Dad on a zip line. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, because that'll happen. That's exactly what'll happen. No, there's no way. Calling it now. No way Dad goes on a zip line. 100% no.
Fine. He can hold our table for when we need to come back.
I feel like that is what he would do. He would be like, I'm absolutely not going up there. Like, why is it?
He could do that. We should. Yeah. Anyway. So that was our big adventure. It really was an adventure. And I'm.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yes.
Louise. That's nuts.
And we're like, we're driving home and I'm like, well, did anybody expect we'd climb a telephone pole today?
Nope. Can't say that was on the list of probable outcomes for
the on nobody's list. On nobody's list. Yes. And yes, the food is not the best in the world. We did go ahead and eat there because it's like, well, because I mean,
already here,
right? And technically, once you have a wristband, you can come and go at your will, at your leisure for that day, and they're open till like 8. But like, who's gonna really do that?
Yeah, and like, it's hard too because you're already in Branson, so like, the food that you're gonna find if you leave, the food probably be even more expensive than it is there. Like, so
yeah, and
they had how it is, right?
And they had peanut butter jelly sandwiches, so we were sold.
Oh, there you go. That's all you need. Right. Susan be down with that. She likes peanut butter.
Oh, these were huge.
Were they as big as that stinking pretzel? That's ridiculous. I don't know.
Okay, they weren't that big. Oh, and the kids' plates. Again, when I think of experience of like, what's the customer's experience like? They have, again, this whole thing is supposed to be kind of like zany and wacky in a world that you don't get to experience anywhere else. All of the kids' plates from the order a kids meal are served on Frisbees that you get to keep, which is kind of cool.
Nice. I like it. That's a big,
it's an interesting touch. Like, it's something where you're like, I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of cool. Doesn't quite make the price we paid to get here, whatever.
It's true. But you do get to take something home, I guess. You do get to eat lunch and make Back to the Future 3 references. So that's important. Right? That's good.
This is all necessary.
Yeah, that's important, right? So that's good. Okay, can never have too many Back to the Future 3 references. Right? It's important.
No. Oh.
Who dressed you like that? You look like an idiot. You did, Doc.
Oh. So, and now we're buckling down for the cold weather and rain settling in. I don't know if you guys have you been dealing with that a lot?
Yeah, it's very rainy today. I didn't even know it was rainy. So, like, we're thinking about going outside for recess, and they're like, the kids are like, it's been raining. It's like, what? Oh, why? Yes, it has. Look at there. I just had my blinds shut, right? And so I didn't even look outside. I wasn't even paying attention. So I just was working and stuff today. So I didn't even know. So yeah, it was raining. It was very cold. Very blah. It's supposed to be colder tomorrow, I think. I don't remember.
Yes, it is supposed to be.
Much rain too. Goodness gracious.
Much. All the rain. Not all the rain, but
I mean, let's see. This is Missouri, so you're supposed to say, "That's good. We sure do need it.
Sure need it."
That's
good.
There you go. That's the official.
Don't say that. You're not.
You don't say that. It's against the law, right? You have to say. Sure. About time. Sure do need some rain.
Oof. Yeah, there we go. Oof. We needed this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oof. Yeah, it's important.
Needed this. And then if you can put your hands on your hips and just stare out kind of at the middle distance for a little bit.
Better if you can hook your thumbs into your overalls. Right. That really gives you a knowing countenance of weathering.
Or just slightly hang your hands out of your pockets. That'll do it as well.
That does it too. Or I guess if you don't have overalls, you can hook your thumbs into your belt loops. Right.
Yes.
That's a kind of gaze into the middle distance at the horizon, squint slightly, right? Yeah, makes you look very meteorological. I think it's how you do.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly fortune teller,
right? Yeah. It's better if you can pick up some dust in your hand and slowly let it fall by watching the wind direction, right? That'll help. I don't remember what movie that's from. That's definitely in like 9 movies where they do that.
at least 9. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it's a pretty accurate number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, story checks out here. Let me ask ChatGPT real quick.
Yeah, because it does.
Yeah, no, that checks out. Yeah, it says, yeah, that's what it works.
See? Boom. Got it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. See, I haven't had anything else exciting this week. There's nothing near as exciting as you, apparently.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you had kind of a slight existential crisis involved.
I had an existential crisis, but that's about it. Nothing else like super fantastic, right? Just navigating a week with zany children, being like, "What's happening? What am I doing? Oh yeah." We did do our marshmallow building project thing this week, so that's been interesting. It's always interesting to watch this, right? Just because I don't help them at all, just stare at them, looking at them. Although there was at least one group today I probably should have helped a little bit because they were struggling like real bad. It was real.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was rough.
Was it the how to put things together, or was it conceptually how to make a sound design?
Yeah, I think it was the conceptually part. I think it was the implementing the plan, right? So they had a plan and then they completely disassembled their first plan, which is definitely where they went wrong, right?
Always a good idea.
Ooh, yeah. No, we could have worked with that, right? That was workable. What you had was okay. And then what we ended up with was like not good. So it's a bit of a heap currently, but we'll give it a shot. See if we can test it anyway, just for grins. Get it on the deal. So yeah, it's very interesting to watch today. I'm just trying to work through this process, and like I'd be confronted again watching them do things that are like actually difficult for them. It's very interesting, right? Because again, it's way outside of our normal like schoolwork where we like read a thing, answer a question, or like try to work through a math problem, right? This is a very big step in a different direction where it's like, oh no, you have to build a tower that stands up by itself. And so it's like, what's going on? Right. And it's again, the other very interesting part of this is that there are like, obviously there's only so many ways that this works, right? There's only a few designs that are like probable and that are going to be like executable.
Right. It's not there's not an immeasurable number of, there's not an infinite number of possibilities to make this work. Truthfully. And it's not actually beyond like their skill set, like the individual the constituent parts of making it work, of putting a toothpick or whatever into the thing, like that's that they can do this. It's just it's like you're saying, it's just beyond the comfort level where it does stretch them to that.
Yeah, because you can tell where like you can almost watch it go wrong, right? You can see how like it starts out a lot of times. This is not every time, but often what will happen is it will start out pretty good, right? There's a sound idea happening, and there's a pretty functional like structure happening, right? And then there'll be a point where one thing starts to go wrong, right? And then you can watch them chase that. You can watch them chase that fix, right? Oh, if I just do this, I can fix it. Oh, that messed this up. Now I'm going to fix it. And then what you can do is you can watch how they put the bracing in these things, and you can watch them chase this problem, right?
Yeah.
And instead of like ripping it out and putting something new in there, they just continue to chase down this issue and continue to just like slap fixes on it. And it just does. This is a good metaphor for life right here. And it just doesn't work. Right. And you can watch there'll be one part of their building where there's like one marshmallow, right? But it has like 9 toothpicks stuck in it. Right. And if you have a marshmallow and you stick like 3 toothpicks in it, it is totally fine. And nothing really bad is going to happen there. When you start sticking a whole bunch more in there, right? When you end up with 9, you can watch your marshmallow just like your joint, your crux of your whole fix is like slowly disintegrating.
Yeah.
And what happens is you're building, right? You can watch one, it starts to like buckle. Right. So imagine a rectangle. Okay. One side of that rectangle starts to fold in on itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just watch it kind of start accordioning down into the side, and it will just give in. It just like buckles and knees in on itself and just starts slowly falling in like this weird slow motion into this pile. And you can like predict like where it's going to happen almost. You just be like, it's going to be right there. I can see.
Look into the future.
See the problem. But can they see the problem? No, they cannot.
No, they cannot.
Again, I have the benefit of seeing very many of these.
Yeah, you do get an unfair advantage.
Right. But and they've never done this before. So
yeah.
It's a very interesting thing to watch. Just like, oh no, that's where it's going to go wrong. Right there.
Yeah, right.
They chase it down.
There.
They chase it down. Some of them can be saved, right? Like because the marshmallows will like, because you leave them out overnight, so they do kind of like harden in the air. You know what I mean? They get like stale on you, and so they kind of firm up. They dry out. They get more stiff. But like, so you can do a couple things. Like if you lay the building down on its side, sometimes that will help save it, right? Because now gravity isn't trying to destroy it while it's hardening. You know,
sure.
And then when you put it up, it will it will stand a little bit better, right? But I found here's the other pro tip, all you listeners out there who are building towers out of marshmallows and toothpicks, right? If your tower collapses, right? What one thing that you can do is if you grab because I make them attach it to a base, right? And that if you turn it upside down, it will start stretching back out, and you can see all the structural weak points because they like start folding out. So you can look and see like, there it is. I found it.
Interesting.
As it uncrumples, like it accordions out, and it will like elongate again because it's like decompressing basically. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But you can watch the joints, and you can go, there it is. I see it. I see the first weak spot right there.
Yes.
Because it'll like unfold in this like really interesting way. And so you can, by literally taking it and flipping it in a different direction, by changing its orientation, you can look and diagnose the problem and see where it went wrong. It's very interesting to do that. I do that sometimes when they're there. It's very fun.
Well, and it kind of remind me. I've been thinking about this this quote recently. Apparently, it's kind of common in the in NASA and astronauts of what is it? There is no problem so bad that you can't make it worse. And
That's true. Should put that on the board for tomorrow.
And I love that because it's a reminder of like, look, like you need to like, you can, you can definitely be a major problem in anything going on. And just because you're involved doesn't mean it's going to get better. So like you have to train, practice, learn, seek help, like work together kind of mentality of like, just because, anyway, I've just been thinking about that a lot because of so many times that like, oh, I'm in over my head, kind of like, oh, here I am of like going into a problem going, I have to be careful with this because I can definitely, and I have made matters much worse because I started mucking around and futzing, right? Like, absolutely, absolutely. So sometimes I need to get out of there and try a different approach entirely, which is kind of what you're talking about of like, they kind of start chasing this of like, well, it worked the first 3 times. So I added 3. So maybe if I had 20, it'll be better. And it's like, no, time for a different approach here.
Yeah. Yeah. Rip it out. Start over.
So yeah, I'm anyway, I've been thinking about that quote kind of in relation to, well, a lot of things, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, true. True. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna put that on the board tomorrow. Talk about that.
Yes.
Before we start.
What was this? No, there's no problem so bad you can't make it worse.
Yes, I Googled it. Okay. I like it. So
yeah, I forget who actually did say that.
This attributes it to Chris Hadfield.
Hadfield, okay.
That is.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds, I don't know.
Yes.
I actually don't know.
Oh, and if that's this, oh yeah, that's okay. When I saw his picture here, it's like the astronaut mustache. Got it. Okay, I recognize him.
Right. That's never.
No, but like I recognize who that is, right? Like, I just recognize his picture.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen him in like a bunch of stuff, and all over the place here.
Oh. Okay.
You will recognize him also. Hold on, let me share image. Boop. No, not with that. Why would I do that? Not with them. That would be real weird. Send this to somebody else completely out of context. That would be real fun.
Like, I don't know.
Almost just messaged that to one of my friends. Like, oh no. I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you see?
Anyway.
The astronaut mustache guy. Yeah, boom.
Okay. Including Wikipedia page here. Ugh. I have been speaking of sending random things to people that aren't involved at all, I get a lot of spam calls to our business line, and so when I answer them, I start in the middle of a conversation to somebody else, and this has been really nice, been really good. I had 3 spam calls today, and the problem is, here's the thing, because our business is listed on Google, because we have a Google business number associated with that, if we don't pick up, okay, this is very important. If we don't pick up, it dings our response call percentage or whatever, and that hurts how high they rank us on the Google My Business listing.
Really?
Yes.
How weird is that?
Oh, it's terrible. So, I don't like this. This is not fun. So I have to answer. And so I had I was trying to talk with a guy. I just picked a random name of Kenny, and I was trying to get Kenny to go ahead and get in touch with me, and that he needed to schedule me. And this was, anyway, it was the guy, I was trying to get a hold of Kenny, and the spam caller actually put me on hold.
Wow.
Came back and went, no, that's not us. Like, that's not us. And I was like, okay, well, you tell Kenny I'm waiting for him at 6:00.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's good. Makes me happy. So that's what I get to do now. And hopefully they'll just start pulling. Hopefully. I mean, they won't, because as long as they know they've got a live one on the other end.
That's true. They know you're going to answer.
They know somebody's going to answer.
Yeah. So just hit them with some Back to the Future 3 references, right?
So,
and then they'll be okay.
So that's my next. Well, so I have two. So a couple different things. One, I'm going to ask them. I'm going to be asking them for directions to the hospital. That's what I'm going to ask them to help give me Google directions. Then I was just going to start reading the terrible Better Business reviews on them, because it's the same company that calls every time. And so I'm just going to have screenshots of everybody who's writing terrible things about the company, and that's all I'm going to respond with to them when they ask me questions.
I like it.
And then my third one was going
Jessica
to be,
said that you smell.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, it's almost harassment every time they call. And then I was going to do movie quotes. Just do nothing but movie quotes. Nice. Is my plan.
I like it.
So anyway.
This is a good plan. I see nothing wrong.
I don't know if it's good.
I mean, it's a plan at least. So there's that.
Yeah. What I get to do. Oh my gosh. But anyway.
Indeed.
That's my fun stuff.
Wow. There's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think with that, probably we call it an evening.
That's true. I guess we could do that. Or I could give you one more option when dealing with your spam callers. You could recite for them a haiku.
A haiku. Yes. Okay. I like this option. I only respond in haikus.
Yes. Right. So this
okay.
So this week's haiku is Thanksgiving themed, right? Since I wrote it at Thanksgiving. Boom. Nailed it. So here we go. Ready, set, and Confections abound. Raucous laughter shakes the walls. Plates and forks licked clean.
Ooh.
Bam. There we go.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. That the first line kind of it doesn't seem as, because confections is like there's two big
so many
words.
Syllables.
So many syllables there. It's a little off, a little.
Yeah, it makes the line length look a bit odd. I don't really know, but it's syllabically it's okay. It looks a little bit weird written out, but
no, those are perfect. Hey. Well, I have quite a few things to read to these people now. This is
all
good.
Right. Boom. And you can write them a new one next week.
I will. Say, hold on. Say, please hold. Like, yeah, I'll say, please hold. When they pick, when they answer, I will respond with, "Hi, Haiku Helpline. How can I help you?"
Yes. No, you should just like pick up and then just be like, "Please hold for Jim," and then
I
never take them off hold.
No, I'll just say, "Hi, can you hold?" Yep.
I like it.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, this. Oh, and then I'll just pretend to be the waiting music and like just recite poems every now and then.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Well, I may have to get a setup. This is going to require some practice. So I'll do my best.
Yeah. So write your haiku, so you're ready, and you're ready to go.
Yes. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Very good. Well, with that excitement and anticipation coming up, we'll do this again.
Yes.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.